Alright guys, here we are with the latest episode of the Monogram 1985 Fiero GT in 1/24th scale build. I think I'm almost done with the engine, so I just want to show you what I've done and all the modifications that have gone into it. Alright, here we go. This is the complete drivetrain of the 1985 Fiero GT. If you are familiar with the car at all, as I am, I am a huge Fiero fan, as I've stated before. I own two 1988 models. This is the 2.8 liter V6. Made it to the, at that time would have been, if I remember right, a 4-speed manual transmission based on the mold here, which is a little odd since the interior is that of the 3-speed automatic. But we'll cover that when we get to the interior. Now, the engine is complete. Right now we're going to go over some of my mods here. The first one obviously is the spark plug wires, which have all been installed. Holes drilled into the block, into the distributor. All the wires running across both sides, 3 cylinders. The next mod is the ignition coil with its heat shields. As if you know the Fiero motor, you'll know that the ignition coil has a heat shield surrounding it because the coil sits very close to the crossover pipe and the Egr valve, which are sources of heat which could shorten the life of the coil. And speaking of the Egr valve, here we have a complete Egr valve and the infamous pipe that goes to the lower part of the intake. You can make it out back there. That always cracks and gives us vacuum leaks until you replace it with the flexible pipe, which I've already had to do on my car, and then you never have another issue. Also, if you look just above it, there are coolant pipes which now run to the throttle body, which is used to warm the throttle body in ice cold climates, which of course these cars were never in climates cold enough to actually need them, but GM decided to put them in anyway. So I drilled 2 small holes in the throttle body housing and installed the lines running to it, and then the return lines running back to the thermostat housing on the other side of the engine. Now, if you look very carefully, you can see a small throttle position sensor, which I have installed there. It's barely visible, almost not even worth the effort because it's so small, but figured I'd try it anyway. So now that we have our emissions equipment and ignition equipment all installed, let's take a look at our brackets. Here I have fabricated the alternator bracket, AC bracket. This kit came with no bracketry at all, so the alternator and the AC compressor are basically just hanging out in midair, and I really hate that. So I decided to create my own, so that at least it'll look like something's holding them up. Now, while I was there, I decided let me throw in the fuel lines. The Fiero has its fuel rail, which sits right underneath the plenum, and going to it are the feed and return lines, which run right above the AC bracket. So I replicated those. Then, if you look on this side here, very small, the throttle cable, which is connected to the throttle body. And here you can see the linkage that connects to it and the cable which wraps around. And this is going to go and contact the body once the engine's installed. And that will go connected to the cruise control servo, which will be mounted on the trunk lid. We also have the vacuum lines, which are running from the PCV valve and the vacuum lines running out to the body of the car. I've also installed the map sensor, which, strangely enough, this car didn't come with one, but it's a prominent detail that sits on the right on the top of the engine, so I decided to include that. All of these details, which have taken me longer to make and install than anything else I've done on this kit so far. Oh, also forgot the starter, which had no starter solenoid on it, so now it has one. And I think that covers all of the modifications I've done to this model. Now, what I used for most of my tubing, such as the vacuum lines, the lines running to the throttle body, is jeweler's wire. This is available at any hobby shop, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Comes in many different sizes, thicknesses, colors, and is great for making piping, vacuum lines, easy to bend, easy to cut. For this car, I used the black wire. They're only a couple of dollars for a spool, which gives you plenty of wire to make all your vacuum tubes, all your vacuum lines. They have a nice glossy quality to them, so that they actually look like they're not made out of styrene plastic, even though the original vacuum lines were made out of plastic. Here on the line going to the throttle linkage, instead of using the black wire, I use the shiny silver wire to replicate the cable going to the throttle linkage. As for the throttle cable itself, for that I've used the Tamiya cables. You can buy these on the Tamiya USA website. They come in various different sizes. I have quite a few of them. They're nicely scaled down for 1/24th, 1/25th scale cars. And the spark plug wires are from Model Car Garage, which have a nice correct scale wire gauge for your spark plug wires. And this is as far as I'm going with the detailing, as I'm going to, if I keep going with this, I'll spend more time on the engine, and I won't have much time. It's going to take me forever to get to the rest of the car. Now, for reference, here we have the Mpc version of the same engine. This one wasn't built by me, it was built by a friend of mine from many, many years ago. But just as reference, you can see what the 1/24th scale Monogram, which is the one I'm working on now, and the 1/25th scale Mpc gives you size difference, and also gives you a idea of what a difference all the extra detailing makes, to just give the engine a more complete and realistic look. As you can see, the alternator is hanging out in midair here. That's just an idea of how much all the extra detailing can add to a model. And here we have, again, the Mpc engine with no painting, built box stock. Let's put it in the same orientation so you guys get an idea of built box stock with no painting, no modifications at all. Now, one of the things that the Mpc variant of this car has always bothered me is that they do not include an AC compressor for the V6 engine. They also have the wrong style fuel pump on the Mpc motor. The Monogram kit is the much more accurate kit, as it includes all the accessories and the correct version of the engine for the Fiero. Unfortunately, the Mpc one is the only one that's available as a fastback. But if you want the more accurate version of this car, you have to go with the Monogram. All right. Oh, that's it for the update on the engine. It's as far as I've gotten with this kit so far. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And just give me a like and a subscribe if you do like what I'm doing. If you got any suggestions on how I could do a little better, just let me know. And I guess I will see you on the next one.